Hi there, so great win today, beating Chelsea 3-1. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, the first 45 minutes they were electric, Arsenal. They could have had 6 or 7. I didn't think they could keep that pace up for 90 minutes, but it was a terrific, the first half, and Odegaard in particular was running all over the pitch like a lunatic, but playing really well. Took his 2 goals superbly, man of the match without any doubt. But in the second half I was particularly impressed with Kiwior. I was a bit worried about playing 2 left-footed central defenders, but he did all right. I mean, he won the ball well in the air, he made some good tackles and interceptions, and he looks like he could be ready to step in, and certainly until everybody else is fit, like Saliba. Worrying that Gabriel went off near the end. He was struggling for some time before they took him off. I hope he's going to be okay for the Newcastle game. But overall, a great performance. Defensively, we looked much better in the second half when we were actually put under a bit of pressure by Chelsea. And they were pathetic. And we are, of course, now back on top of the league.
I was just going to ask you about them. They're really poor. You say that's probably the poorest Chelsea team we've seen in recent times here.
Well, when you think of the money they've spent and the players that they've got, and not one of their big signings, and most of them got either started or came on, they were rubbish. I mean, in the first half particularly, from the first minute they just didn't know what was going on. Arsenal was swarming all over them. They could not get the ball out of their own final third. They were in real trouble and they looked poor, and when they scored the goal they looked surprised, and they didn't look like they were going to push that home, because when that went in you start thinking, oh no, not again after our recent performances. But we held it together much better, but they were probably the poorest Chelsea side I've seen in, I don't know, 20 years. The fact that the Arsenal fans were singing Frank Lampard's name says it all.
Okay, so back to us. Brilliant performance from Jesus as well. Got his goal, was really lively up front today.
Yes, he had another couple of good chances, one of which he knows he should have scored in the second half. But yes, he was a constant pain in the backside for the Chelsea defence. And for a guy of such slight build, he's very strong at holding off challenges. They were pushing him and shoving him and kicking him, and he didn't lose the ball very often. He played well, took his goal, real poacher's goal. I was very pleased for him. He's been desperate to score since he got back, and overall it was an excellent performance. We're going to rue those 4 points dropped against West Ham and Southampton. I didn't mind a draw at Liverpool. I would have taken that beforehand, and City were a class or 2 above us when we played last week there. But we could still have hung on for the title if we'd have taken the 6 points off Southampton and West Ham, and we threw those 2 games away. But at the start of the season, if somebody had offered us second place, we'd have bitten the hand off. So we'll have had a good season, we'll finish second, but this squad will be together and will be strengthened more, and over the next 3, 4, 5 seasons we will be challenging and we will win the league.
Do you have any hope that City could drop some points? Well, they do have some difficult games, playing a lot of teams that are battling relegation. They've got a lot of fixtures with Champions League semi-final as well. Well,
fixture congestion could play a part in it, but to be honest, they've got such a deep and strong squad that, you know, people like Morris can't get in every week, and he'd walk into any other team in the Premier League. You live in hope, and the way results have gone this season for some of the bigger clubs against some of the lesser, smaller, struggling clubs, nothing would surprise me, because, you know, teams like Forest and Southampton have picked up points against teams that you wouldn't have expected it. So you live in hope, and there's always the possibility, but all we've got to do is keep on winning our games and let City worry about it, and, you know, if they hang on, well done, and if they don't, great.
So next up for us is Newcastle. Difficult game. We remember last season, that crucial game at the end of the season where we're battling for the top 4, we lost there. really want to go there and get revenge for that and get a really another important win for us.
Yeah, but they are on fire at the moment, and that Isaac looks like he's really developing into some kind of a top-class player. And Callum Wilson, who I've long been a fan of, has been scoring goals for fun lately. We'll do well to get a point up there, but if we produce what we did in the first 45 minutes here against Chelsea, and we take the game to them and murder them like that, anything's possible. You just don't know, but it's going to be a tough game. They're a top quality side. He's done a great job there, Eddie Howe, and you know, they're on a good run at the moment and scoring a lot of goals. But you never can tell. Hopefully we can get something there, and that would be good for our confidence, whatever that ends up at. And I'd like to say a big shout, by the way, for our ladies. I was here last night for that game. My heart bled for Lotta Werben-Moy when she made that mistake. It was right at the death of injury time, of extra time, and we lost 3-2. But they had put in a great performance. There was 60,000 here for the ladies, and the stadium was rocking. It was great, and hopefully they'll build on that. They've also been unlucky with injuries. 4 of their best 5 players are out injured. So well done to them, and commiserations, and hopefully next season they'll go do one better than that and get into the final. But back to the boys. You know, that first 45 minutes was probably the best they've played this season, and that's saying something because they've produced some great football this season.